This is Jon Gilbert, Director of Athletics at East Carolina University. You are experiencing social distancing sponsored by Suddenlink. We are joined by Eastern North Carolina royalty, lead singer of the band, country music band, Parmalee, Matt Thomas. Matt, welcome to the show.
How's it going, y'all?
Going well. So the first thing that I have to ask, I know the band Parmalee's named after a small town in Eastern North Carolina, Parmalee, and a lot of the band members are from that area. But the reality is, you're really from Robertsonville, and so was there ever a discussion with the band members that we really ought to be Robertsonville instead of Parmalee?
Just doesn't have the same ring, does it? I think the cool part about Parmalee is that we never really went there growing up. It was we had that barn out there that was a cool spot to rehearse, and it was almost like nobody would mess with you out there. Nobody knew where you were at. You could just kind of hide and go work and not bother anybody. So it has a little character to it, I guess.
Well, being a Martin County resident and an East Carolina graduate, we certainly are proud of you and what you've accomplished, and excited for all the opportunities that you have. Give us an idea of what the band has been up to with the pandemic and with everything put on halt. How are you working now?
A lot of this Zoom stuff. I'm a songwriter as well, so we're doing a lot of songwriting just like this pretty much every day, trying to create as much content as we can to keep our socials going, trying to luckily we're very fortunate to have some land out here, so there's all the grass you want to mow, there's all the construction remodel you want to do, there's all the barns you want to build on. I mean, it's a lot to do out here. That's overwhelming. So between songwriting and working on the house and things like that, we're pretty busy, pretty fortunate actually.
Well, I saw that you were getting a country boy workout the other day. You posted on Instagram. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in here where my internet connection is better. So we have all kinds of stuff that we have hanging around. We use for exercise, and we just had a little funny moment with that. But everything's in the backyard. I think you can make ends meet with whatever we have. We got a couple weights, and we got some old logs that we've been sawing up that always make for like tough work if you want to get out there and work out. So it's plenty to do around here.
Speaking of logging, you grew up working on a farm, and you used to be a logger. Did you have to wear skinny jeans and the tight T-shirt, and are they still a part of your daily wardrobe?
Yeah, man. Back then, we wore our you always wore your pants tucked in your boots, keep the ticks out of them. So I keep that real when I put my pants in my boots. But man, it's been a minute since I wore my logging gear. We always, when we put our chaps on, whenever we go do some saw work, it's always get a little nostalgic from being out there. We miss it, but now that it's not our living, how we make a living, it's enjoyable. Back then, it was tough.
It is tough. You mentioned songwriting. Walk us through how long it takes to write a song, and like Feels Like Carolina, like a song like that. How long did a song like that take to write? And then walk us through the whole process of putting the music and walk us through what it takes to put the instrumental a part of that as well.
That song took about 10 years to write. No, I say that because it's part of like finding your sound and that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get some better light in here.
You look good. Like the video looks good.
Oh, okay, good. I got lights and stuff. I'm just trying to. Carolina was that's interesting because we actually had part of that song written. This thought came to my head. I had it kind of laid out. We had a little version of it, and we ended up taking it to Atlanta to work on it with our producer that wrote it with us. So that song was kind of halfway done in North Carolina and halfway done in Atlanta. And how it came about, it was just one of those thoughts that, we had been in California for a couple months that year, a lot. And we got back home to North Carolina, and it just felt like home. But I was reminded of California when I went to the studio, and I just had that thought, feels like Carolina, looks like California. And obviously with everybody being away from their loved ones, it just parlayed right into the relationship thing out of that. And typically these songs, like I said, that song was halfway written, and we took it to Atlanta and we finished it, recorded it, released it in 2008, I think. Then it did what it did for us. You got us some more fans, and people loved it, but nobody knew what to do with it. So a country artist out here in Nashville that got a record deal, and they were going to release it with him. And so they put it out. They were going doing the radio promotion thing, introducing this guy to radio. Carolina was his song. And we went to Nashville on the coattails of him, just saying, hey, we're songwriters. We wrote this song that nobody knows that this guy's got out, thinking everybody's going to write with us, And we were oblivious to how it works out here. But we were just out here, and we met our producer out here, who's now our manager, who's writes songs with us. And he wrote a song with him. That ended up being Must Have Had a Good Time. The guy that was pushing Carolina, his record deal folded. We got the song back. We re-recorded it, ended up going #1. So it's a huge timeline behind that song. But going back to songwriting, how long it takes. Yesterday's song was 3 hours. The day before that was 7. The day before that was 3.5, 4 hours, I think. So.
And then have you ever had a song that just clicked and you wrote it in 15 minutes?
Yes, sometimes. That's the golden ones when that happens, man. Usually the best ones too, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And then how many songs would you say that you have written that you haven't recorded? And do you keep those lyrics on your phone or in a closet?
They're in my MacBook right now. Hundreds. Most of them don't get recorded, Most of them end up just sitting on the computer. But it takes a lot. It takes so many songs to get good songs, and even more to get great songs. And they're very. You might write 100 songs, and one of them might make the album, and that might not be a single.
Well, I know you keep producing great hits. I really have enjoyed Just the Way with the collaboration with Blanco Brown. Have you received a lot of positive feedback from it?
Oh yeah, man, it's been great. It's the connection that song is having is the stuff you always hope and dream for that you can't make up, and that's the cool part when you see people singing it back, and they're making their own videos, and they're hitting you with all the messages and comments and things like that, and just having some positivity around the song is not only the message of the song, but just having positive light around it is amazing.
Yeah, it's special. I actually watched part of the video where you and the group and Blanco are handing out roses to different individuals. It's really a positive message.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been a crazy. It's all the stuff happened right at the height of all the stuff that's going on. So we've been having to kind of readjust everything. But even like going to New York, and sorry, I'm trying to get a stand for this computer to sit on. Here we go. Doing all the press and promos around it has just been really fun. It's something different,
And then we talked earlier about collaboration. During my research, I saw where early in Parmalee's tenure, you all collaborated with Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. I don't want to know as much about the music part, but did you all collaborate socially? And I need to keep it PG-13 on.
Yeah, we did. It was really cool. The guy who was running the studio knew Nikki and worked with him on producing some stuff. So he hit him up, and he's like, come write some songs with the guys. And when he walked in, of course, we were all just, it's Nikki Sixx. I remember seeing him when we were kids growing up in TV, all that. So it was pretty cool. And yeah, we sat and we spent a couple days together just digging through and writing and, just being songwriters, pretty much, and hanging out and telling stories. And that was before he put the Heroin Diaries out. He was actually reading us his handwritten notes from that before the book came out. That was cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Matt, if I wanted to treat my wife to a nice dinner and a bottle of wine, which Parmalee song would you recommend I put on Alexa?
Oh man, must have had a good time. No.
That's a good one. I'll make sure she hears that.
Change the wine to whiskey and put on must have had a good time. I don't know, man. That's a great question.
And I know Parmalee is truly a family affair. Tell us how it all got started, and I also want to know, when in your head did you really feel like, man, I think we've made it?
I still don't feel
Well, I can assure you, you've made it.
I keep going. We started, we were really young. I think I picked up guitar and I was like, well, really 13 when I really committed to the guitar maybe. And so we started beating around a little bit. My dad actually started his band back together when we were about the same time. He kind of had his resurgence. And so there was a lot of music going around. And so Scott and I started playing, had a little high school band with our buddy, and my dad started his band. But eventually when I was able to get in my dad's band, then Scott kind of got in the band too. It became the family thing. And then we brought in Barry, cousin. And so we had the family band going, and that kind of, that's really how it got started. But we were just, we were playing for my dad's crowd. And so Scott and I and Barry, we just wanted to play for people our age at the time, the young people. And, so we just said, we got to start changing up the music a little bit. That eventually led to us wanting to start writing music. And then we found Josh. He was playing in a band in town. And that's how the whole Parmalee thing got started, because we invited him to Parmalee because that's where we had to rehearse. And so that was the beginnings of this band. But I'll never forget, the moment we all looked at each other, we all had day jobs, and we were playing in what we call menu venues, which means they have, they serve food and they got bands in there doing all the cover stuff. And we had a couple songs that we wrote that were good, and we just all looked at each other and we're like, hey, do y'all want to keep having people ask you to play Brown Eyed Girl, or do you want to try to do this thing on your own,
Right.
So we said, let's go from making $600,000 to $800,000 a show to making $100 or playing for free, opening up, doing, our own thing. And but we all kept the jobs, kept logging, kept doing construction and all that to to keep the band going. And eventually, kind of bigger and bigger. But I think going back to the moment when you think I made it, I think getting the #1 plat for Carolina was the best, the moment really for everybody. It's like, okay, wow, we have a #1 song. And I think for our parents too, that was the coolest thing too, because they saw us in the trenches for so many years. Just, something good was happening, then it wasn't. Something good was happening, then it wasn't.
Yeah. Clearly, the band has been ultra successful. The new collaboration with Blanco Brown obviously been very well received. I want to turn towards East Carolina and Greenville. Tell me, what Eastern North Carolina means for you, what ECU means, and then favorite spots in Greenville.
Man, I mean, it's where it all started. Some of my best memories in that little down on First Street, that whole area. I mean, you burned that up and spent so many years in Greenville. It's where I first played the club with my dad. It's the first place we played. So, I remember putting posters up, wearing the people out with posters everywhere. Get people.
You can see the poster over my shoulder. There's a younger version of Matt Brown. You still got the look.
That's great. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's always going to be home, love going back. I think I always loved it. I definitely loved it. When football season started, I'd always try to get those homecoming games shows. That was the golden ticket. If you could play down at Corrigan's or PB's down there, after the homecoming game. That was always the best times ever. And then when spring comes around, it's amazing on campus,
Yeah, and then I'm assuming you still follow the Pirates athletically.
Yeah, absolutely. Always are. Everybody asks us, so who do you like, Carolina or NC State? Dude, like, nah, we're Pirates, man.
We appreciate you being Pirates. You've toured with Brad Paisley, Jake Owen, among others. Any people on your wish list that you'd like continue to tour or collaborate with?
There's so many. I mean, all the guys out now. I mean, Jason Aldean's one of them. Keith Urban, Kenny Chesney, all those guys have done amazing. They're just amazing careers. So any of those guys, we'll see when they let us out what's going to happen for this year. It's been let's get some tough news on our end. I mean, as far as all the shows are just get a lot of reschedules, but it's weird sitting home this time of year when this is starting to be fair and festival season, and usually we're all across the country playing for so many people in years.
Well, maybe when this is all over, we can get Parmalee back to open up Dowdy Ficklin.
Yeah, man.
I think there are a lot of Pirates that would love to come watch the Pirates play, love to watch Parmalee perform, and then also, this, Pirates like to hydrate. And, it sounds like a trifecta that we should all be looking to achieving in the fall.
Yes, sir. That sounds like a game plan.
Matt, how hard would it be, like, for you? I see multiple guitars in the back. Pick up one and give us the short version of or the chorus of "Feels Like Carolina."
Hold on, let me see what I got. Let me find one. Oh, I need a capo now. Hold up. Is it over here? You got a capo over there? Yes. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So much going on around here, man. Feels like Carolina, looks like California, shining light goes to your lights on Broadway. She looks back and behind her, always be there for her. She makes me feel like home inside, so far away. She feels like Carolina.
Hey, I'm on it. That was big time. I should have held the light up earlier. This is Jon Gilbert with Matt Thomas of the country music band Parmalee, Eastern North Carolina native. You've been experiencing social distancing sponsored by Suddenlink. Matt, thanks for being on. I really appreciate it.
Stay in touch, man. Appreciate it.